My 15-year-old idiot kid got his girlfriend pregnant on purpose. This was posted to r/True Off My Chest on April 26th, 2025. I, 30 female, have a child who is 15 male. We'll call him Ollie, plus other children aged 2, 6, 9, and 11. Damn, 5 kids. As you can tell by my own age, I was a teen parent. I was lucky, and we married at 18. Still married, healthy relationship. Worked our way out of a very dire situation. Graduated, started a trade, etc. And we are comfortable, stable in all ways. This information is relevant. Oh, I know what's gonna fucking happen. He's gonna be like, well, you guys got pregnant when you were 15 and it worked out, so I can get my girlfriend pregnant at 15. Oh no, oh no. Ollie has been friends with this girl. We'll call her Bree since he was 7 years old. Their family used to live in the same city as us, and we went to the same school, same friendship group. We know her parents and are long distance friends ourselves. Not close friends, but say hello when the kids are on video chat, had drinks together before, etc. Bree's family moved to a very small town 3 states away due to rental affordability. In parentheses, no secret. We all have talked about the rising costs of everyday life. The cost of living in the city has risen, forcing many locals out. They moved because of that and for better job opportunities 18 months ago. Since then, Ollie has been begging for us to follow, giving us a sales pitch on cheaper housing, better paying jobs, none of which fit either of our professions, the whole works. We have said no because, well, no. But even if we wanted to, our other children are in school, sports, have friends here. Selling and buying another house, finding work outside of our skill set, or having to learn new skills, any normal adult would understand this. He does not. Well, fast forward to Christmas. Bree's family came back to our city for a holiday and the kids met up multiple times with each other. It was my understanding that they were always with the other kids, but obviously not, since Bree is pregnant and I am certain it was on purpose. He has access to condoms. I don't care for opinions on that. My access was restricted and I had him. He has had sex ed from me, my husband, and the school. He knows damn well how babies are made and how not to have one. Ollie now wants me to move to be with her and the baby. It's confirmed. I've talked to her parents. And I said no. I don't feel I need a reason, but he asked. You're 15. We don't have any proof it's your child yet. I'm not moving us away from our lives, and you aren't going alone until you're 18. We will do a DNA test, then we will look at parenting plans and topped it off with a too bad, too sad. You made your bed, now you have to sleep in it. Damn, getting a girl pregnant just to move closer to, I guess, the girl that you're interested in. As dumb and fucked up as that is, that's some fucking commitment right there. Holy shit. I'm not condoning it. I'm just more admiring the fucked up thought process of, oh, you know how I'm gonna get my family to move? Get this girl pregnant. Like, what? I'm not saying that it was a good decision or even a smart decision, but it's very big brain to be like, this is how. What the fuck? What are they putting in these kids' food these days? He took that back to Bree, and now all communication between me and her parents has been cut. I'm a terrible person. My comments about the DNA test are disgusting, and it's fueling my son's hate for me. He says I'm keeping him from the love of his life and future baby using my own successful relationship as proof it will work out. There it is. I actually don't even know if I am right or not. I'm just really upset, and I feel like my life I worked really hard for has been destroyed. Y'all, I'm trying to decide what the move is here. Listen, I just want to start this off by saying I think this is out of Reddit's pay grade. Like, what the fuck? I think this is out of my pay grade. I don't have any experience with having children, disciplining them, let alone disciplining such a complex situation. I'm not gonna lie to y'all though, my first reaction, a little part of me was like, you are intentionally doing adult things to manipulate me. I'm going to treat you like an adult. This is your kid. Go be a dad. I'm not uprooting my life and your siblings' life because you wanted to fuck up. This is your fucky wucky. Go and fucking fix it. And like, I know that's probably a little cruel to do to a 15-year-old, but like this 15-year-old has shown that he's manipulative, he's selfish, he's willing to do anything to make your life miserable. Like, I don't know. I guess my question is like, when do you disown a kid? Or when you just go, you know what? If you want to be there so bad, go live with Bree's parents. I don't think that's a great way to parent. I'm not saying that's the right answer. I'm not going to sit here and lie though. That was the first thing that came to my head. I'm a parent. I thought this too, Sarby. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better, Kawhi, but we could both be bad people. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what? I shouldn't say bad people, but we could both be wrong. I genuinely don't know what the move is. This kid wants to be an adult. He wants to do an adult thing of have a child with another person. I say fucking treat him like one. Cool, bro. Then you're out of the house. Go find a job. Go figure out a way to support that kid. You want to fuck around, you got to find out. Does that suck to do to a 15-year-old? Yes. Do I think it's even completely ethical? No. But like, that's where my brain went, y'all. I don't know what else you can do. Or like maybe even to chat, maybe the answer isn't like kick him out or whatever, but being like, we're not moving, but you now have a kid. You are going to pay child support. You are going to go to school. You're going to get your degree. And on top of that, you're going to go get a job so that you can send money to Bree, or you can pay for train rides, airplane tickets, a car to go drive to them. Like maybe that's the answer, chat. But still, the 3 years living with that kid are going to be a nightmare for OP, which I guess that's what you sign up for when you decide to have a kid. Like you're taking that kid no matter what. I don't know if this is mean of me, but a part of me is thinking you need to be an adult before your time to the greatest extent possible. And that requires a little bit of, I hate this term, but like tough love from your parent. I think some people use tough love in an abusive way, but like I also think there's a little bit of like, no dude, you fucked up. I'm gonna hold you accountable to that. And that is the tough love. Salty egg, it sounds like the girl's in on it, but who knows? I mean, let's just keep reading. Edited for update to answer some questions. Bree is due September around the 22nd, so no, there's no option for abortion. I don't think that or adoption ever was. Ollie admitted it was on purpose last night. Apparently it was Bree's idea first as a joke, and that turned into a plan together. Bree's parents will only pass messages through my son, and I have heard this for myself. I stood outside the door and listened to them tell him, tell your mother, insert info below, because I know I will just go off on her about that bullshit still. They are talking shit about me with my kid. Why did these parents get mad? What did OP? Oh, they're mad about OP wanting a paternity test. Okay, I could see how you would maybe get angry about that, but also, damn bro, this story is really making me question if my intuitions around this situation are right, because I am totally willing to say that they could be completely wrong, but I actually don't disagree with getting a paternity test on this one. It's nothing against Bree. It's not even against Ollie even. It's just like, listen, bro, if these kids are stupid enough to hatch this plan, I think there also could be a possibility that this kid isn't actually Ollie's. Maybe that's a fucked up thing, because I don't think paternity tests are something that should be normalized. I'm not one of those fucking idiots that's like, oh, every guy should get a paternity test. No, absolutely not. But like, if you're a 15-year-old about to commit your life to a kid, I think it makes sense to be 100% sure that that's your kid. They are appalled I would think that way of Bree when I've known her for more than half of her life and do not wish to talk to me. I will not allow him to move out there alone. There are some past issues, such as Bree breaking up with him twice in the last 18 months because she found someone that she liked more in her new town around August and October last year. Same boy. Yeah, especially knowing that information, I will die on the hill that it makes perfect sense for them to get a paternity test. I'm like trying to decide if I want to shit on Bree's parents too, because like I totally understand being like, what you're implying about my daughter is that she sleeps around, and like that's not something that you should stand for by any means. But also I think as parental units, you guys got to be on the united front of like, as much as they were trying to manipulate OP, they're also trying to manipulate these parents, and they should not be proud of this and not be in any way, shape, or form taking the kids' sides, at least in my opinion. I just think the parents need to be on a united front right now. When it ended, she came back to Ollie. Bree is a nice girl, but her behavior is toxic and has been since a child. Her mother and stepfather are nice, but the relationship is unstable. The house is chaos. 9 children combined, blended family, and 2 out of 3 teens with serious mental health struggles. He would be leaving stability for chaos and no structure. I want a DNA test, and I will not budge on that. I am close to cutting his contact totally at this point because they are only empowering him and reinforcing his behavior towards me and his father. His father is a man of few words, which is unhelpful. So far, he's backed everything I've said and only really chosen to say, you have the intelligence of a pear. I can't decide if this is kind of a fucking bar. If I was in an argument with someone and they looked me dead in the eyes and they went, you have the intelligence of a pear. What does that mean? I would be shell-shocked. I'd be like, damn, maybe I do. No, but I mean, the dad needs to be more outspoken in a situation like this. I understand the men of few words and like how powerful that is, but there are some times where many words are needed, and I feel like this is the situation for that. Update number 2, May 30th. Wow, a month after the original post. Oh no, things have gone south even further. At this point, husband and I have been blocked on all social media and numbers blocked, but the communication with Ollie has continued. Ollie gave us Bree's parents' email address to send an email to, but before using that, I asked him to video chat Bree with me there, and then I could ask Bree to please get her parents so I could talk to them about this, and tell her that if they were going to continue to refuse to speak to me, then I would be blocking all contact to Ollie and communication until this is resolved. I told Ollie this before the call. At first he flipped out about it, but it was this or I cut communication completely. I do think he understood that it is not okay that her parents are speaking to me through minors, and he said himself he would like us to talk to each other. No, wait, actually, that's a really fucking good point. It is so unbelievably stupidly immature to be talking about something so adult through like a shitty game of telephone via minors. That is such a good point that I didn't even notice. Bree joined the call and hung up when she saw I was there. Ollie called back a few times and she didn't answer. She asked via text why I wanted to talk to her, and Ollie told her that I wanted to speak to her mother, and if we didn't resolve the communication issue, then all contact would be ended until her parents made contact with us, and we make a plan for the next few months, including a DNA test, and then birth arrangements. Said that if the baby is his, we will travel there for the birth and first few weeks after. He told her that I personally think it probably is his baby, but I want to be sure, and I want to make sure everything is done right from the start. Well, Bree blocked him with a reply, and he is totally heartbroken, not eating, sitting in his room all day and night, not mad at me, surprisingly. Very, very sorry for him and to us, sad about it all, and I think regretful. He even asked me if there was a way to undo it for himself. I haven't talked about signing over rights, a male abortion, his father called it, because I think he's just upset right now. A mutual friend of Bree and Ollie's here in our hometown showed him a few posts she has made in the last 24 hours. Things like, "It's you and me against the world, baby girl," and memes about deadbeat dads. She also announced the pregnancy, which she hadn't done yet, and the post had some single mother facts and quotes. Ollie's friends knew about the situation, and a few were under the impression he had dumped her and the baby, going by the posts. But when he explained what had happened, they all rallied for him in the comments. I said not to, and now she's blocked them, and we can't see what she has posted. This is just a nightmare. I have had a plan personally, not set, but something I wanted to talk to her parents about. But I don't even want to waste my time at this point. Ollie gave us Bree's parents' email address to send an email to with said plan. Basically, Bree does DNA blood test. We will pay the full $1,500 for it. A DNA blood test is $1,500 fucking dollars. That is information that I'm glad I do not know, because that means my life is not half as messy as it could be. I don't believe in God, but if he's real, thank you, bro. Sky Daddy be real for that one. If it is his baby, we can book flights and a plan to be there for the first month. I'll stay too with Ollie, maybe even the whole family, and then we can also work on a parenting plan and getting into mediation for a judge to sign off on it. Ollie's father and I split for the first 7 months of his life, so we have done this before and we know the process. But at this point, I think I will just leave it to settle before sending an email. Okay, you guys, I kind of want to read these comments because I'm very curious what people are saying about the DNA test, about what they should do with the 15-year-old kid, because I could be so wrong in everything that I've said. Some commenters could probably be like, nah, bro, that ain't cooking. You got to take care of your kid. DNA test is fucked. I just want to see what other people are saying about it. Commenter 1 said, nobody going to point out both children are manipulative. Obviously, the girl was on board, and it sure seems like they both kept it under wraps until it couldn't be aborted. Both children are bad actors here. OOP said this. I think it was planned 100% on both sides, and this was Christmas. She's around 24 weeks, I believe, and way past abortion. They also never told us until 20 weeks. Her family knew, but never contacted me. That's fucking sketchy. I can't even lie. Commenter 2, quite the manipulative teen you got there. But by teen logic, his plan makes perfect sense. From any point of view, you can't give into his plan, though. It would ruin you financially, ruin his relationship with his siblings, and yours with him. I would give him a detailed plan on how you and your partner manage to rise above all the risks of teen pregnancy, focus on school, plan ahead, make sure the village is on board, and of course, how lucky you both were that it all worked out despite having to sacrifice so much. So here's all I will say here, and I'm not accusing OP of anything. It's more of like I would love to know if this is the case. I think all of this is stuff that you should give your kids before they get to the point that they have a teen pregnancy. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, especially if you come from a teen pregnancy that kind of ended in sunshine and rainbows. If this is me, I'm making sure during the sex talk, I'm like, you need it to be fucking clear. This was not smart. It was not a good plan. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't end up the way that it ended up for us. We got lucky. We were smart. We stayed ahead. We worked hard. We had sleepless nights. Don't do what we did. I feel like with the vibe that I'm getting from OP, they probably did that. But like, I would love the clarification. How does he expect you to support his child without your jobs? But he made the choice to become a parent. So now he will have to do what you did. Focus on school, get stability, make sure to stay in his and her parents' good graces so they can be the village they will desperately need. There is nothing he can do to support his girlfriend physically. And as a jab, he's done enough physical support for a good while to come. He doesn't have a job, no way to provide financially. All he can do is focus on being able to do that as well and as soon as possible. So by the time he's ready to go partying, no, he isn't. He's going to go to bed early to get up for his weekend job to save up for his kid. Edit to add, I just realized that if this becomes a family tradition, you'll be great-great-grandparents by the time you turn 60. Don't manifest that for them. That's nightmare fuel. Generational trauma? Not. Generational teen pregnancy. Okay, so it sounds like the commenters are maybe not along the lines of like the kick him out, treat him like a full adult, but they are along the lines of like he will have to now do adult things and for all intents and purposes be basically an adult who lives at home, which is probably a much nicer and more empathetic answer than the one I gave. I'm willing to admit that. Another commenter said, he's 15, you get to make the decision and you are doing the right thing. No way can you move your whole family because of this. The responsible thing to do is get a DNA test and set up a parenting plan. He won't like your decisions, but that's too bad. Sometimes being a good parent is making decisions our kids hate us for. This is a result of their bad decisions, not yours. Okay, looks like a lot of people are saying the DNA test is a good move too. Guys, I'm gonna jump into this. I really just want to know how this ends. I'm gonna make the bold prediction. This is not his kid. Sorry to do Bree dirty like that, but like I feel like that's where this is going. Update June 3rd, 2025, 3 days later from update 2 in the original post. Ollie's friend was able to see her Instagram through an old account. Different email question mark. I don't use Instagram enough to know what that means, but it meant they weren't blocked when they reactivated. They found the pregnancy announcement post, and if you scrolled across it, showed a digital copy of the scan Bree sent us as a 16-week scan. Apparently the first scan she had at the OB. That is dated 0404 and clearly says GA 19 plus 3 weeks, making an August due date, I believe, or very early September. This would not line up with the due date given to us, but does line up with when her parents told me she was pregnant mid-April. They told us we've had the pregnancy confirmed and sent a photo of the printed pic, which the date isn't on there. I actually think it may have been cut off the top. I haven't told Ollie about this yet because I want to be sure. I am very concerned about his mental health at the moment and taking that into consideration. But unless she gave the wrong period dates and the baby measured only 16 weeks, then it's not possible for it to be our son's. Bro, that's what I was thinking, chat. I was like, it's too sketchy for that not to be the answer. Also added information, her due date from what we know of is September 22nd. She was here from December 20th to January 7th and saw Ollie December 21st and 22nd and January 4th and 5th. Never overnight. I asked Ollie, when did this happen? And he said January 4th was the only time, which makes more sense as they were in a public gathering otherwise. They were at a mutual friend's birthday that night, but never stayed overnight. I have had 5 kids and I know the dates are too close to figure it out that way. Ollie also said that the joke Bree made was just to see if it happens, the pregnancy, because then it's obviously meant to be and he would have to move. To me, it sounds like she had the plan a lot longer, but I might be biased here. Oh shit, so what if Bree was manipulating Ollie to then manipulate his parents? That's fucking wild. Damn, and that's the last update. There are a couple of relevant comments though. Commenter said, so what you're saying is the most immature people in this situation are Bree's parents. I expect teenagers to make questionable decisions, although generally not to the extent of get pregnant on purpose so we can force people to move. But the parents are a whole new level of WTF. OP, I'm wondering if Bree has somehow maybe manipulated the situation there. I couldn't imagine being like this, and the family I've met before did not appear this irrational in the past. I mean, but are the parents stupid and they haven't put together the due dates like you did? I'm not gonna lie, y'all. All of this flew over my head. I will not try to do this math, but the way that OP was explaining it, if you know what all of this means, you can do the math pretty easily. I'm not gonna do that. That's gonna hurt my stupid little idiot YouTuber brain, but if somebody wants to do it themselves and tell me how inaccurate it is, thank you. I love you. Thank you for saving my stupid idiot YouTube brain. Another commenter said, is her social media public or private? If it's public, then sign out, and some social media sites you can see without being a member. Then you can track what she posts. Are you even sure she is actually pregnant? Is she showing yet? Has she sent ultrasound photos? She could be lying about being pregnant in the first place. The fact she blocked your son and friends shows it's probably not his. Hopefully your son realizes how horrible this girl and her really are. OP, her parents confirmed she was pregnant. She is not really showing no. She sent an ultrasound photo, but it's a photo of a photo. I wanted to keep access to her social media to see if she uploaded on that, showed more information so I could check dates. I will see if your advice works. Okay, this is a commenter saying don't budge on the DNA test. Nice to know that other people also think that the DNA test is 100% merited here. Don't get me wrong, I think they should hold Ollie accountable, but like he might also be a little bit of the victim. New updates. Update number 4 coming June 15th, 2025. The same update post, but 12 days later. I spoke to Bree's biological father. He lives in this town, who had no idea about any of this. Before you come for me, there was no known DV or anything. I felt I had run out of options at this point, and I just wanted a way to contact them. Bree's mother then made contact, agreed to the blood test if we paid for it. Ollie and Bree spoke again, and Bree asked to come here for a holiday and have an ultrasound with him to prove dates in person. I agreed to this, but I may not be thinking straight with the stress we have all been under. She says she is 26 weeks, sent him a photo of her belly, which is grown, and told him there is no other option but him to be the father, that the ultrasound had to go by her last period date, and she didn't remember, so she went by her app, and it was the period before. That's why the dates are out on the scan. I asked if she had a physical booklet of pregnancy notes or something, because I know from experience that they have all the confirmed information on them. But she said everything is digital with her doctor, and I didn't want to push because it's not my medical info. I'm wondering if I do just fly her out here on my own terms. Her mother agreed, and do the blood and ultrasound here and put an end to it all. I mean, if you can afford it, I think that's the right move. This sounds so insanely stressful just to like once and for all figure out what the hell is going on, because I feel like if you don't even know if it's actually your son's kid or not, you can't even move forward with like, what is the plan here, you know? And then everybody, including your son, even their parents and Bree probably have anxieties around all of this. So obviously it's a luxury, but if you can afford to fly her out, I say go for it. Maybe make your son pay you back eventually, because holy fuck did he mess up. Okay guys, let's just do the thing. I'm curious, do we get the answers? Is everything solved? Is it? I don't even think it said concluded on it. It just said new update. This might not even be concluded. Update 5, June 25th, 2025. Same update post, but 10 days later. We all came to a travel arrangement. We paid for Bree to fly out, and her father was paying for the ticket home. Bree was supposed to fly to us this morning and stay for 6 weeks total, flying back sometime in August. Her father's in charge of that flight. She was staying with us over these next few weeks while we do our annual July 4th family vacation for a week, and then a couple more weeks back here at home for the ultrasound/blood test. This was decided together, both families, because Bree and Ollie would like to have some kind of positive experience/memories during the pregnancy, and obviously, if the baby wasn't his, Bree would be taken to her father's and we would be finished with it all. But she never turned up for her flight. She texted the night before that the doctor did not recommend she should not travel as she is at risk of preterm labor due to her age, and her severe morning sickness makes her only be able to tolerate pineapple juice. So she is needing to be hospitalized and maybe even deliver early. Y'all, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I know everything about being pregnant, but from looking at chat, she's at 27 weeks. That is way too early for preterm labor. Also, once again, guys, I could be so fucking wrong here. I know nothing about giving birth. How old is she again? 15 as well? I think Brie is 15 too. I'm not saying 15-year-olds should get pregnant. That being said, aren't younger women a little less at risk than if they wait till they're older to get pregnant? I could be so wrong, but that's what I've always thought. Okay, no, under 18, you have a higher risk of birth defects. Okay, thank you, Hostile Cran. So it sounds like maybe the risk is there. A lot of you guys are saying the 27 weeks is fucking crazy. 24 weeks is the absolute earliest a baby can survive being born early. Okay, listen, y'all, and I'm sorry, I did read a little bit of head, because it sounds like she could be capping, she could also not be capping, but reading the next line after that, this is on top of a group photo that included Brie, obviously pregnant in a tight tee, hugging the boy she was dating in her new town, his hand on her belly. It was quickly removed from her story when Ollie asked, "I think it was intentional to make him jealous." I know she's 15, but she has shown a lot of manipulative traits, and I do not want to give her the benefit of the doubt. Sue me, bro. Tell me I'm bullying a 15-year-old. I don't care. I don't trust her. She sounds sketchy. I am done. I do not believe her or her parents. I have contacted a lawyer and a therapist. I will not be updating again until I know the outcome of the DNA test that I assume will not be done until after the baby is born, since I was told today. I cannot force her to have while pregnant. If this baby is Ollie's and my grandchild, I am willing to move Brie here and have her live with us. It has no chance and will continue to ruin my son's life from afar. Damn, bro, taking Brie into your household, though, that sounds like a nightmare. There's one relevant comment added to this post. A commenter asked, "It's very possible that she may go into labor early is due to her real due date." OP, this is what I thought too. If the other due date is the real due date, then she would be something like 32 weeks, which would mean she would be 38 weeks when she planned to fly back. Therefore, an OB may say they don't recommend it. Yeah, dog, I don't trust her. I think there's some hanky-panky sketchy shit happening on Brie's end. Chat, am I wrong here? Is it easier to get a DNA test once the baby is actually born? Here's what I would do. I wouldn't burn any bridges. I would just keep playing along. And then when she's like, oop, I'm in labor, that's when you go, you make sure you're there, and you get a DNA test right there and then. Is that true though? Yes, very much easier. Okay, I think that's the move. At this point, playing any more games with Brie is gonna make you want to tear your hair out. Keep everything short, brief, to the point. Don't do anything wrong, and just be there for the birth so you can DNA test. And then once you know that information, act accordingly.